If you have a dog or you would like to get a dog or you're not sure if you should get a dog, then today's episode is for you. We're going to be talking daily dog walking, how this simple, sometimes muddy, sometimes magical outings with our best friends can actually help us lose weight, especially that stubborn belly fat that shows up around menopause. So grab your lead and your waterproof coat and let's get started. Hey friend, welcome to Menopause and Motherhood, the empowering podcast made just for menopausal mums juggling the beautiful chaos of family life. If you're ready to reclaim your health, confidence and sanity, including managing weight and feeling strong again, you are in the right place. I'm your host SJ, and together we'll navigate menopause with practical, real-world advice focused on rest, fuel and movement. The three pillars that support weight loss, boost your energy and help you feel like yourself again. Today's episode is brought to you with Wellosophy. Right now I'm loving their Meta Boost. It helps me keep cravings under control and gives my metabolism that little kick I really need. Use the link in the show notes to get 15% off your first order. Hello, welcome back to today's episode. How are you? We are well into September now. The kids are back to school. We're back in routine. Everything feels a little bit crazy and a bit chaotic this end. And it is the time of year where we are back to after school clubs, packing lunches and just trying to get ourselves like really organized. And we start thinking about new routines. And today's episode really is about something quite simple that you can do to help you lose weight, especially that stubborn belly fat that we all struggle with around menopause. Now, before I get started on today's episode, I want to remind you that there is the opportunity to work with me on a one-to-one basis through coaching. It's a 5-week program where I'm going to take you through the steps that I took to lose half a stone in 5 weeks. I did it through the summer while my daughter was at home and off school. And now that the kids are back at school, you might be thinking about your own health, your own weight loss journey. So now really is the time to perhaps incorporate something like this into your schedule now that you might have a little bit more time. And we will work together for 5 weeks and we're going to be looking at making sure that you're getting enough rest, how you're fueling your body and making sure that the movement that you're choosing is something that is going to work for you, but is also something that you're going to be consistent with. So if you feel that now's the time you want to take another step into your weight loss journey, maybe focus in on your health, incorporate some new exercise as part of your new routine now the kids are back to school. The link to the coaching program is in the show notes, and I really look forward to working with you on your health, your fitness, and your weight loss goals. So let's go back into today's episode. And today's episode is all about fitness and one of my other favorite topics, which is dogs. Yay! Now, for those of you that don't know, outside of this podcast, I am also a DOGFIT trainer. So I help people to learn how to run, how to get fit with their four-legged friend via the sport of canicross, which is running with your dog, and also cani trekking. And if that's something that you might be interested in, please drop me a message, because although I do a lot of my work face to face, it is definitely something that we could do together online as well. Now, I want to talk today about how this simple daily action of going for a walk with our dog really can be quite magical, and it can really help you to lose weight, especially the stubborn belly fat that shows up around our midsection in menopause. Thank you very much. I'll be honest, like there are so many days when I know that I need to exercise, I know that I need to move my body, but it's actually my dog, Sky, my 2-year-old Labrador that I run with, that has really given me the energy and the motivation to actually get out the door for us sometimes, especially when it is raining. Now, I know you might be listening to me and thinking, okay, you don't have a dog, but there is, I'm sure, maybe a neighbor, a friend, somebody you know who has a dog and who might actually need some extra help with walking a dog. And it is such a good opportunity to not only improve your health, your fitness, but also to spend time outside rather than actually going to the gym. And I think this is so much better for you. Now, my dog Sky really does motivate me. I really like the days when I go out with her. It is just such a wonderful experience. And over the past few weeks, we've actually had some amazing press coverage here where I live in Shropshire. I had a whole page devoted to the work that I do in the local newspaper. And I will put the link to my Facebook page in the show notes and you can go and check that out. There's a really, really lovely picture of her and myself in all our Canicross gear. And it was just so joyful to see. And since then, we've had some amazing response. And I'm really looking forward to running some more DOGFIT classes in the community that I live in. And this was one of the reasons why I wanted to talk to you today about how getting fit and walking with your dog really can help you when you are struggling in menopause. And as I said before, if you don't have a dog, that's okay. You could always borrow somebody's dog. And if you would like to do some Canicross, if you'd like to learn more about Canicross, then you can send me an email. And even if you are not local to me, perhaps you're over in the US, maybe you're in Canada, we can still jump online and we can still talk about Canicross. I could still do a basic taster session with you and introduce you to the sport because it really is like so wonderful. Anyway, on a different note, let's talk about how walking really does help the menopause weight gain. So first of all, it boosts your metabolism. Any kind of movement that you are doing and something that you are consistent with is always going to boost your metabolism. The great thing about walking as well is that it reduces stress. And we know that when we're stressed, our body produces cortisol. That then is linked to an increase in belly fat. And also, one of the great things about walking is that it supports your joint health without overloading the body. Now, if you are overweight, and I know what that feels like, because when I turned 40, my body just flicked a switch and all of a sudden I put on a stone and I didn't know where that had come from. When you are overweight, your body has additional challenges and stresses. And part of that is actually carrying that extra weight. But what you don't want to do is to do some sort of exercise that stresses your body out. Now, a few years ago, I remember working with a lady who really was very overweight. She was very obese. And she had tried so many different personal trainers. And their attitude was just awful because they were trying to get her to do squats and, all of these like crazy HIIT exercises, when actually what she needed to do was just to start walking and to start walking consistently. Because when you are overweight, it's really challenging for your body, and we need to make sure that the exercise that we're doing is achievable, something you can be consistent with, and it's something that isn't going to overload your body. Now, let's talk about dogs, one of my other favorite topics. Love them. I have 3. Doing it with a dog is even better. And here are 3 reasons why I think that. First of all, you have a built-in accountability partner. Now, we know that when we do exercise, for some crazy reason, we are not very good at being accountable just to ourselves. But we are better when we are accountable to someone or something else. And in this case, it is your dog. Now, every morning when I get up and I go downstairs and I grab myself a drink, my dog Sky is there with her wet nose nudging my leg like, come on, mum, let's go and let's get out there. And it really, really does make you do it. If you have a dog, you know what I mean. You will go outside in the rain and you will walk them. Now, it also makes it fun and playful. Like when you're with your dog or a dog that maybe you're borrowing, it makes it fun because you're not thinking about yourself, you're thinking about them. You're not thinking about, oh my gosh, this is such hard work. You're thinking about them and, what do they need? How are they feeling? Do they need to go to the toilet? Like all of those things. And the third thing that you are benefiting from this is fresh air, companionship, and that is going to improve your mood. Okay, let me give you some actual practical tips that are going to help this process to be more successful for you. So when you are talking about walking, I want you to aim for about 30 minutes of brisk walking. And I want you to be doing that most days. So when I talk about brisk walking, I am talking about something that is getting your heart rate up, where you're, almost power walking, where you're swinging your arms. And you see, this is why actually using the equipment that we use for canicross or canitrekking is really helpful, because this is hands-free. When we are canicross and canitrekking at DOGFIT, we use a waist belt so that the dog is attached to you via a bungee line, and they wear a special harness. But this gives you the opportunity to really stride out and use your arms. And if you have a dog that is quite strong, it's also going to protect your back, because the pull that's coming from the dog is coming from the center of your body where you are strongest. So you're not getting your arm yanked around. It's actually a really safe way of walking with your dog, particularly if you have a strong dog that pulls. We use like a bungee line, so you are attached to your dog on sort of like a stretchy line so that they're pulling. And it really is such a good way to like get your arms moving, get your arms pumping, and really do that power walking. So you want to be aiming for 30 minutes of brisk walking and doing that most days. And then you also want to mix up the routes to keep it interesting, like not just for yourself, but also for your dog. So thinking about, okay, where can you go? What different routes have you got around you? I would also suggest, if you can, to add like some short jogs, maybe like a 10-second like jog, and then going back to walk. Or even trying to find some hills as well, and you can power walk your way up some hills, which would be really, really good. And I do want to come back to using the correct gear. So at DOGFIT, we use the correct gear for two reasons: for comfort and safety. And I really like that you are able to walk your dog's hands free, that the harnesses that the dogs are wearing allows them like real freedom of movement, and also allows them to expand their lungs to make sure that they're getting the air that they need as they're exercising. And the reason I say this is because the average harness and lead that you buy in your pet store, a lot of the time those things are designed to restrict your dog, to stop them from pulling, because, like pulling can be quite challenging. But the DOGFIT gear that we use actually is designed to give the dog more freedom, but it's actually safer for you as well, because when you have got the pull coming from your waist, you're able to make sure, because your core is the strongest part of your body, you are able to withstand that pull better than if you've got the dog on an end of the lead. And it also gives you the capacity to really practice your training with your dog as well. Have them walking and trotting beside you. Most of the belts that we use have a pocket in them at the back as well, so you can put your phone, you can put dog treats and things like that. So you can really do some training with your dog as well. So if you are thinking about doing something like this with your dog, please drop me a message. I will then book a session with you that I call a taster session. We can talk through all of this online. The taster sessions are very affordable. I also have a special code that I will give you if you do decide to buy some of the DOGFIT kit to get you a discount. And if you are outside the UK, then you can still participate in this. You can still book a taster session. You can still use the DOGFIT link and kit, because DOGFIT does ship internationally as well. So that's really good news. We can be a DOGFIT community through the podcast as well. Okay, so before we wrap up today, I just want to leave you with what I think is quite an important takeaway. Remember that walking your dog or walking somebody else's dog isn't just good for them. It's actually going to be your secret weapon to shifting some of that menopause belly fat. It's going to help improve your mood. It's going to build consistency. And this is the word that I talk about all the time. When we are thinking about our pyramid, I nearly said period, when we're thinking about our pyramid and we are thinking about wanting to lose weight, I always start with rest, then we talk about fuel, and then we talk about movement. And movement really is at the top of the pyramid, because if you're not getting the other two right, that's not going to work. But when it comes to exercise, it really is about consistency. You need to pick something that you are going to be consistent at. And if you are a dog owner, or you have a friend who has a dog that needs more dog walking, or you live near an animal shelter that is desperate for people to walk their dogs, then this is like the perfect thing. This is a match made in heaven. You get to work on your health, your fitness. You're going to be consistent with something. You are going to burn that belly fat. You are going to have a much improved mood. And it doesn't need to be complicated. It really is just like clip on the lead, step outside, and off you go. I know I make it sound easy, but honestly, this really is something I'm so passionate about for so many reasons, because it's just the perfect example of consistency and exercise and nature and just all of these wonderful things, like spending time with animals outdoors. Like, what more do you need to improve your mood? So if you are interested in doing Canicross, trying Cani trekking, which is the walking version, you don't have to run. Really grabbing some of the DOGFIT kit really is quite essential. Book yourself a one-to-one taster session with me through the link in the show notes. And I know I'm talking about two things. I'm talking about coaching. I'm talking about a taster session. But if you decide you want to do some coaching with me and you want to do this, we can incorporate it into those coaching sessions. But if you're just interested in doing some Canicross, book a taster session with me. I will talk you through exactly what it is. I'll get to know a bit about your dog. I'll help you with the kit, help you choose the right kit. Even if we are not in the same country, we can still do that. And I really hope that this is something that will empower you, improve your mood, and help you shift that belly fat, because it is something that you're going to be consistent with. So all of the links, as usual, are in the show notes. I really want to say thank you for joining me today. Today really has been one of those episodes where I'm just talking about something that I love and something that I'm passionate about. And I really, really hope that comes across in the episode. And I hope it's something that you might want to get passionate about too, especially if you have a dog, or you're thinking about getting a dog, or you know someone who has a dog who needs more walking, or you would like to support a rescue or an animal shelter and go and walk some of their dogs for them. So thank you for joining me today. Don't forget to hit subscribe so that you don't miss next week's episode. We're going to be talking about mindfulness and how you can learn to slow down, breathe, and de-stress. So until then, grab your lead, go and step outside, and remember, every walk is a step towards better health.
Thank you for listening to my mum's podcast. I hope you like it. Please share it with a friend.
Thanks so much for listening to Menopause and Motherhood. I hope you found today's episode helpful and inspiring as you navigate this journey. Remember, it's all about small steps, resting well, fueling your body, and moving in ways that feel good for you. And don't forget to check out Mother Cup of Tea for the perfect moment of calm in your busy day. If you enjoyed the show, please subscribe, leave a review, and share it with other amazing mums like you. Take care, and I'll see you next time.